After a 38-27 win over Michigan State, it's time to turn the page now to Maryland. Hi, Sean Callahan, HuskerOnline.com. The Huskers will hit the road for the first time this season, and one of the unique things they'll do with this trip out to Maryland is you will actually go out a day earlier than normal, as the Huskers will fly into Baltimore on Thursday.
We've had a year to prepare for it. We know what to expect. We were glad it's not a night game because we come back and play on Friday night. We were hoping for an 11 o'clock game, but 3 o'clock will take. And the only difference being, Mitch, that we're going to go out Thursday because, when you arrive there, you fly into BWI. You got to drive about an hour to Bethesda to get to the airport. And so, we know Washington didn't get in until about 1 o'clock in the morning Thursday night. So we're not a big Thursday operation. We like to go on Fridays and keep our routine. But this is one time and the only time this year that we'll go out on Thursday just because of the nature of being on the East Coast and traveling in those areas. So we'll take advantage of Friday as a day to, like I said, when I talk about the brotherhood of the team, just spend some time together and take the day to build, lock in and get focused for the game. But I think that's one change that we've made. But when we go to the West Coast, we don't really do that. But again, we aren't having the same travel that maybe. I think back to my first year here, right? We flew to Illinois, we flew to Minnesota, we flew to Colorado, and we flew. Who else did we play in Wisconsin? Right? They were all like a small plane, 90-minute rides. Right? Now it's a little different, but it's good. We're excited about it.
As for last week, Rule did go into some of the problems they were having, particularly with getting the football downfield.
I would say the wind was obviously a factor. I think you look at them. I think they threw for. There was at one point in the second half where both teams had under, 85 yards. So again, I'm not here to sit here and be like, we can't sit here and say, well, the wind was there, so we didn't throw. But I just think it was kind of one of those deals where it was like that. I think we called some of those, and we had some guys wide open, like the play I'm talking about the Dane, and we just had a protection bust. And then just kind of, I think as games get like that, and you're just Dana was just trying to find rhythm. He's like, hey, let's get the ball in rhythm. Even on the play to Jacory, if you go, I showed the team the three-play sequence of we throw a tunnel screen to Jacory and he drops it. Jacory Barney doesn't drop many balls. And it looks like it's going to be a decent play. We come out on a naked and Dane's open. We throw it to Dane and we kind of guys in Dylan's face and overthrown it. It's just it just feels so out of whack. Then we come out and we throw a double post rail route wheel with Emmett in the flat, 4x1. Lindemeyer has to block the end. The end gets outside and he kicks him out. Dylan goes up inside. Jacory figures it out. He throws the ball down the field on that play. And it's an explosive play. And so then all of a sudden we're going, right? So I just think it was one of those games where you're just trying to find rhythm and, is there a place to probably push the ball over the top of their heads maybe more often? Yeah, if people are going to allow us to do that. We called on one of the sacks, the one Dylan got, we called a double move to Jacory and they rolled over the top of him. And so the pick is a go and a post over route. Just, he had to get backside of the in cut. So what we don't want to do is we want to push the ball down the field. We want to do all those things. But we don't want to. It's kind of hard. Like, hey, Matt, why don't we run the ball more? Matt, why don't we throw the ball deep more? Just trying to score more points than the other team, So I just think Dana's elite at hey, what's working today? What are we going to do? And let's just get the ball and play as much as possible when the chances are there. Let's take some shots over their head.
He also hit on the offensive line and some of the issues that he saw on Saturday.
I saw a lot of good things, and I saw some other things that have to be improved. Some of the sacks are on them. Some of the sacks are on other people. So I think it's just I think right now Emmett Johnson is third in the league in rushing, right? So the narrative that's out there that we can't run the football is kind of silly, right? We're just college football, you take away sacks. Are we giving up too many sacks? Yes. On one of them, that's what I love about Dylan Raiola. He stands up on the one. I don't know if you guys saw, he went. That's on me. He was holding the ball, right? A third down sack doesn't really bother me as much as a first and second down sack. And because, if you just hurry up and get the ball in your hand and don't get the first down anyway, you're punting the ball. Now, we don't want sack fumbles. So, there was just some times there, as we all saw, that things kind of got a little out of whack and out of kilter. And, we have to be better. But I don't think it's like this, oh, my gosh, we can't block anybody. We had 9 plays, I think 38 yards in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. We had a horrific second quarter, unlike anything I've ever been a part of. All right, so let's call it what it was. But we had a 104-yard third quarter. We had a 103-yard fourth quarter. So it's on pace to be about a 420-yard day. You know what I'm saying? We just didn't play well there for a while. What I was happy about was that the guys just kept playing. They didn't panic. I mean, we have the ball in the red zone, and if you guys go back and watch the All-22, Dane Key runs an over route. He's wide open. It's a walk-in touchdown, and they blitz the safety, and not that we can't block him, just the left tackle just busts, doesn't block him, right? Just a mental error. So we fixed the mental error. We keep coaching, right? It's kind of what we've been talking about all year, just trying to improve what we're doing. Some of them, the quarterback's trying to hold on, trying to make a play. And if you want to live with the great plays, you have to live with some of those plays too. So we'll keep getting better. But the narrative like, hey, we can't block anybody, I mean, we got to block better. But we're blocking people. We just got to be more consistent. Meanwhile,
on defense, the story continues to be the secondary where the Huskers lead the country.
Yeah, I mean, I try to tell everyone after the Cincinnati game. When I say everyone, I'm talking about like our team. I'm like, hey guys, just so you guys know, this guy's a real quarterback. Like, there were 5 scouts. That's the exact story I told you guys. There were 5 scouts at the game that were like, oh, he's a pro, Matt. We held him to 64 yards. And everyone was really disappointed after the game. I can't believe it was 2017. To me, it was like, hey, we won a close game. We played a good team. Have you watched them? They're dynamic. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, to your point, I think we're playing good pass defense. I think some of it is, unfortunately, we've left too much run game go. So people are like, hey, let's stick with the run. So this game we stopped the run to a degree to force them to get into those situations. I think Butler is elite. I think Butler is pretty elite. I'm watching what he does, like putting concepts together in terms of coverage, because it's not just like, hey, you covered it, we're not just doing that. I think Addison is doing a great job. I think the players gravitate towards Snow. I think Adam DeMichael does a great job. I think we have like really good coaches, and then like it's Wednesday night at like 8:30, 9 o'clock last week, and maybe it's Thursday night. I'm not usually home Wednesday night by that time. Thursday night? I don't know, whatever. And I get home and I'm watching whatever Julie wants to watch, and it's Thursday night, and I get a text from Sierra, or a phone call from Sierra. The players never call me unless they need something, right? And Sierra's like, hey, can you have them turn the lights on in the stadium? He's got a bunch of guys out there, and they're doing extra. Like, it's just, I think I told you guys after the game, Sierra like got up in front of the team and was like, hey, that's not, that's not okay that we gave up that touchdown at the end of the game. Like, he was pissed. And so I think it's just the guys that we have back there, Deshaun, Malcolm, unfortunately, he's hurt. Like, Sierra was willing to go from corner to nickel. Like, he's like fitting the run now. Like, that's just, not a lot of guys will do that, but Sierra's like that kind of guy. I thought the impact of Marshall in the game, like coming up on those 2 tackles in that one drive and knifing the guy at the 10-yard line. And then the guy, like, wait till Amari Sanders is the starter here. Like, it's not like this is like, oh, we got some older guys. Like, the young DBs coming up are going to be elite. So I think Addison's done a good job, and I think Butler's really special. I think, I remember when Sierra came to me, Sierra was like, you need to hire Butler. I was like, really? Why? Not that I've said really like in a bad way, but like, why? And he detailed for me the story about Rutgers. He's like, hey, they're going to run a fake. They called timeout. Rutgers called a timeout, and he said, hey, they're going to run a fake field goal here. It's super windy. It's a third, whatever it was. This is the length of the kick. They've already ran one fake last year. They just called timeout. They're going to run the fake, and they ran the fake. And Sierra was like, I've never had someone who can break the game down for me like that. So I think John's done a great job.
Williams Nwaneri off the edge has also been a big development as he looks like the 5-star player people thought he would be.
I think one of the biggest things for me with him was like to get rid of the expectations. Like, when it's like I've experienced it in the NFL. When you're a first-round draft pick, you're always measuring yourself against like your draft status and your compensation. When you're a 5-star plus, you're like, just go be a football player. Just go be a freshman. Go be a sophomore. So to that end, in the spring, the only thing I said to him was, I said, I have one word for you, motor. Like, motor. Like, we timed him, and he runs fast. But when I turn the tape on, I should see that speed. And now you're seeing it. And I think it's just from practice. Like, no, the players probably don't want to hear it, but just if you practice well long enough, eventually it starts to translate, turn over, right? Like, Deshaun Singleton had 2 interceptions in the game. Those are he's in his 5th or 6th year of college football. I don't really know what year. And that's his 3rd interception. Like, Judy is a 5th-year senior. He had his first sack, I think, right? So it's like you just keep doing things and eventually something good will happen. So just trusting the path that you're on. Instead of all the freshmen and like, the freshmen are panicked and like their parents are panicked, like just do the good right stuff long enough. And I think that's a great example. Williams is a great example. Like, hey, man, don't worry about your ranking. Don't worry about anything. Just become a good player. And I think he's just taking leaps. We put him in a black shirt last week because he's just playing so much. And we're playing some different packages. Like when they go big, we're playing some 4-3. When they go to 11 and we think it's a run, he's playing some 4-3 stuff. We're playing some 5-down stuff. So William will definitely deserve that.
And then last week on special teams, the Huskers got a big lift from Mike Eckler's group, and Rule expanded upon that, and also the impact Brett Maher has had on those units.
I think you'd have to start with Mike. You know what I mean? I think he's brought like an energy to it, but I don't want to minimize it, because I think everyone he might get mad at me for saying that. I think everyone sees like the jumping around in the locker room and all that stuff. That's not what it is. It's his teaching progressions are amazing. His attention to he truly uses on his interview. I had to tell him to stop, because he uses the Socratic method where he's consistently asking you questions and making you respond and think. And I was like, heck, I can't do this, bro. It's like an hour of this. Please do it, because it was me and Snow interviewing him. But I think it's great, because you go to his meetings and everyone's dialed in and everyone's locked in. Here's how I knew it. It was I don't think it was Thursday or Friday. Sat was like, man, I can't wait for Jameer. They're going to come out and they're going to line up like this. We're going to check to this, and Jameer's going to stun the guy. I mean, that's when your tight ends coach is saying this is what's going to happen in the game. It's because it's been taught so well. And then I think then the energy and the passion of it, he inspires belief, and he has your back if you do make a mistake. We told Jameer. I personally told Jameer, which is not the way I am. And I'm pretty proud of the fact right now that we're 15th in the country in penalties, because that's not the way it was the first 2 years. But I said, hey, if you run in the punter, you run the punter. I don't care. Go block the kick. Just wanted to free him up. So I think Eck's teaching progression is elite. I don't want to minimize the impact of Brett Maher, because when you have specialists, and the specialist has somebody who's done it, that they can. The last thing, because for 10 years of my career, it was me being come on, put it through the upright. What do I know about it? It's like me talking about some other golf swing, right? So you got Brett over there, and he's even some of the things Brett taught me this year. Early on, we weren't making real long kicks, and Brett was like, "No, coach, we're being consistent here. Now we'll start to work back." He's just so patient with it. I really blame myself that I probably should have kicked some more kicks in games 2 and 3 before the fourth game, instead of going for it, because I was trying to be respectful of the opponent, But I should have probably kicked a few more, but. So anyway, I think it's Eck. I think it's Brett Maher. I think the job that Nick and Josh do to help Eck, and I think our players are super bought into it. Yeah, they love the fact that we're making plays.
As for Maryland, the Terps are 4-1. Had a disappointing loss last week at home to Washington. They're led by talented true freshman quarterback Malik Washington.
They've got good players. They got a dynamic young quarterback, 5-star recruit who's athletic, but who is a passer. When you have that combination of you're a passer first and you look to throw, but you're also athletic, it extends plays. They hit a lot of deep balls. Their wideouts 1, 4, and 5 can run. 5 can really run, so they're explosive. That it's the passing game for them that's really opened up, and they can run the football too. Don't get me wrong, but it's just there are some challenges there. We're a pretty good pass defense, so it should be a good matchup. Then you flip it, they have a bunch of high-effort rushers that are relentless, and so their pass rush is pretty elite, which is why they're so good on third down. And we just talked about our ability to create and build and defend a great pocket. So that'll be a key matchup there. And then special teams, we've blocked 3 kicks this year. Jameer Khan has, I think he has a block and a tipped, so that's 2 blocks for him, I guess. Every week I go into Eck, I'm like, hey, I want to block a punt. I want to block punts. We're doing a great job of returning them, but, trying to design ways to block punts. They do a great job special teams wise, but Eck will always find a way. And Jameer, when you have 2 block punts in your first 5 games at this level, was it 5 games, right? That's pretty impressive. And so we'll continue to try to find ways to get Jameer open. Jacory's doing a good job returning. So, just continue to build off what we're doing special teams wise, which will be a key factor in a game like this.
And the Terps head coach, Mike Loxley, is also someone that head coach Matt Rule has a relationship that goes back several years.
Yeah, I was I don't know, maybe 14, 15 years old, and Coach Loxley and my cousin Craig were teammates at Towson with Rob Ambrose, who was the head coach at Towson for a long time, and they were in my cousin's wedding. So I was 14 years old trying to get Coach Loxley to give me a beer at the wedding. He did not, and I did not. So. But no, I've known Coach Loxley for a long, long, long time. I have a lot of respect for him. But I know he'd rip my heart out if he could. So I respect that about him. And I love coaches. I love coaching. I know how hard it is. I know how hard coaching is on our families and all those things. I also know the positive things about it. So the amazing things about it. Like my dad's a high school coach and teacher. I just love coaches of all ilks, of all sports, of all everything. So But yeah, I just want to win though.
As for injuries, Rule said still undetermined if Malcolm Hartstog will make the trip out to Maryland this week with the Huskers. Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.